We need two up front. What are we doing here?
Well, the first choice for me, there's only one fella I'd pick. Playing with him in the Tottenham side for 7 years, one of the greatest goal scorers I've ever seen, Jimmy Greaves. Absolutely unbelievable. I thought when I arrived at Tottenham in 1964, he was the luckiest fella I've ever seen score goals. But after about a year, I realised that he was a genius.
He kept getting luckier, didn't he?
He kept getting luckier all the time. And it was just a natural talent. I mean, somebody had hit a shot. I remember one of the games, we were playing Fulham of all people, and somebody hit a shot from outside, but probably me, and it was going 15 yards wide, and it landed straight at his feet, and he just side-footed the ball in the back of the net. But he did this over and over and over and over again. And there was never a time he'd come off after, he hadn't even broke sweat. We were playing Chelsea one day. He hadn't had a kick, Ronnie Harris had kicked lumps out of him, and he had one touch and got the winner, and he walked in and he took his shirt off and he folded it up. He said, "Put that away for next week, there's no bead of sweat on it." But he was, I mean, he was absolute genius. I mean, I would pick him in any side.
I think we're only looking at two here, so I think we'll take that as a contribution. No decision to be made just yet. What about the Hursts? What about the Shearers? What about the Linekers?
Yeah, Keegan.
Keegan.
Yeah, you've got to put Kevin in there. Bubbly, irrepressible player, really. Smashing play with him. Southampton, and I mean, always something's going to happen with the kid. You know, really loved his football, enthusiastic, got goals, brave. There's an awful lot to pick from there, you know.
Manufactured, they said, though. Did that allegation stand up?
Manufactured, not when you've got to go and score goals. There's an art to scoring goals, and you know, he got goals with his head, feet. He was only a small kid, but his partnership with Toshak at Liverpool was quite exceptional.
Frightening, wasn't it? Yeah.
Frightening. But in saying that, the most he ever scored was 15 when he played for Liverpool. People will find that astounding. Yeah. And yet he came to Southampton and
got 30. You must have seen all his goals on television then.
He got 33. Well, when they won the title for Liverpool, he only got 15.
Yeah.
Him and Toshak, which will surprise a lot of people. Yeah. When he came to Southampton, he got 32, 33, I think. But they were all types of goals, which I liked. Lineker, predator, pure predator. Get the ball in there, I'll score. Whether you could have him and Greaves in the same team.
I was going to say better than Greaves, was he?
No, forget it. No, he's not. No, he wasn't better than Jimmy. Jimmy Greaves had ability to score goals from the 6-yard box. He had ability to beat 5 players in a run. I mean, when Alan was talking about Roy of the Rovers, I saw Jimmy Greaves score a goal in the same, playing in the game, score a goal against Leicester, Frank's old team. I don't think Frank was playing at the time, he may have been. But he picked the ball up on the halfway line and beat 5 players.
No, I wasn't playing.
No, he wasn't. No. He wouldn't have got past Frank, that was the problem. Frank would have kicked him up in the air.
Frank was there, but he wasn't playing.
But he was there, no. Yeah. He was with his walking stick, wasn't he? That's what
I actually...
And he was absolutely fantastic.
I was speaking to Pat Jennings and he says, in training, when you do 1 against 1, most of the time you can get 2 or 3 saves out of the player you're playing against. Just in the 18-yard box, he's trying to score in the goal. He says, with Jimmy Greaves, it was a total waste of time. He says, I never once, in that kind of training, ever got the ball off him once. I mean, that is
he was not a World Cup winner.
He was a very, very good goal scorer and a very good footballer. Clarkey.
Alan
Clark.
Oh,
and that lead side of that time, Jones and Clark. Clarkey was excellent.
Yes.
I mean, you can go on the big guys. Who are the big guys in this country? Nat used to frighten people to pee, but you know...
Martin Shivers, Tony Woodcock, Jackie Milburn, who...
Francis, Mariner,
Danny Lee,
Mariner was a good player. Yeah. But I think
Stanley Morton was there as well.
Yeah. I think you've got to go for Greavesy as one of them. But I think to play with Jimmy Greaves, you had to have a hitman who could hold things up.
Absolutely.
For it to go there, or wide, then Jimmy gets.
But this is fantasy. Remember, if you want to play Greaves and Lineker, then you are very welcome.
No, but the balance isn't really there at all. Right. I mean, I played against Greavesy probably a dozen times, and quite often during games, I'd felt I'd kept him very quiet. And then he would finish up scoring at least 1 goal, maybe 2.
So I get the impression that Greaves is going in. Who are we going to play alongside him?
It's a difficult one, this
the best hitman I played with, and I'm going on who I played with, because as a midfield player, you've got to be, even if your back's facing the guy, as it's coming to you, you've got to be able to hit that ball up there and it's got to stick.
It's got to stay.
It's got to stay, and then things will happen. Third man can go and join in, or he'll get it out wide, and then the little striker, your little attacker will go and finish off. And I promise you there was none better than Jeff Hurst.
I was just going to say, 3 goals in a World Cup final surely qualifies you anyway.
Everything into him stuck. Strong, powerful, very clever brain, as all the West Ham players were brought up smashing. The near post runs were cute and clever. Anything up to his feet, Hurst would hold it up. So unselfish, brave, strong, got his own goals as well. I think he was underrated, Jeff, and you take away...
Shearer does all that as well.
I think Shearer, yes, I'll give you that, but I think Jeff's done it for a longer period of time, and I think Jeff can go both ways.
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Alan preferred to go one way.
Yeah.
But Jeff just edges him on more all-round stuff.
Frank?
I found Jeff Hurst, obviously I've never played against Alan Shearer, but I found Jeff Hurst a real handful. He would come short, as Alan would say, and you would try to get really tight so as you could nail him, and then he'd spin.
Can I just ask you about Roger Hunt, because time's running out?
Yes.
Well, he'd spin, and I tell you what, he'd sprint 30 yards, and Bobby Moore would hit it with his right foot over Jeff Hurst's shoulder. And so both ways, he'd come short and be comfortable with it, but he'd also run you that way as well. And for a centre-half playing against a centre-forward, it's very difficult. I think him and Shearer are so close, very hard to decide between the two of them.
I think we'll put Greaves in, shall we? Is that a
Yeah.
decision? Greaves is in. All right, Greaves is in. So we've just got one to name.
I would have gone for either Shearer or Hurst. I think they're so much alike as people. Jeff Hurst.
It's a really
literally,
difficult choice as well, isn't it?
He was a midfield player when he was a kid. I remember playing against Jeff Hurst as a midfield player before he went to West Ham, and Ron Greenwood converted him from midfield to be a centre forward. Yeah. He was probably, as Alan says, the best target man to hit with the ball. I can see Bobby Moore now playing, jinking off, getting up on his left foot and just jinking it straight into his chest, trapped it, down it got, and then they started.
Not dismissing what Hurst did, nor wishing to influence you too strongly, but on behalf of the current day ambassadors, does Shearer get the nod?
Yeah, I think so, because all we've done is more or less pick all the players from
Shearer.
the past, and
I'll
it's
go
so
for
close
Shearer.
between Shearer and
Shearer.
I'll go for Shearer.
He's in.
Nobody would be too disappointed if he was with a centre forward, would he?
Oh no, he wouldn't be disappointed. I don't think he's done enough yet, personally, but I'll bow to this one.
All right, okay, we'll put him in there then. So that's our team. It's impressive as well. Let's have a look one more time. We've got Gordon Banks in goal. We've got Roger Byrne at right full-back, Bobby Moore and Roy McFarlane together at the centre of the defence, and Ray Wilson at left full-back, Sir Stanley Matthews, Bobby Charlton, Duncan Edwards and Tom Finney, and up front Jimmy Greaves and Alan Shearer. And some of the names we left out, I mean the Keegans, the Brookings,
Wouldn't I love that
Ray
team up
Wilkins,
behind it?
Trevor Francis, Gaza, I mean no mention of Gaza.
You could afford them too, you got the wages they got.
Norman Hunter.
Well, I've got Norman Hunter down and Gaza, but Gaza's been unfortunate as well. I know some of these problems have been brought upon himself, and he's a player out of the last 30 years that's really excited me. But he's had massive injuries as well, inconsistent form, but he's certainly got the talent up to match these, but he hasn't had the consistency.
Nobody mentioned Martin Peters.
No,
Yeah, we
I was
did
just about
mention
to
that.
say
No, we
something.
did.
We just mentioned his name, but glossed over it quite quickly.
Martin Peters was unbelievable. He used to score about 18 goals a
Yes.
season, at least, from midfield, season after season. And every time he was attacking that goal, when the ball went out there, as soon as the defender who was marking him looked there, he would just steal in. He would just wait until you looked away, and all of a sudden you turn around and think he was alongside you, and he was in at the far post and scored his goal.
Trevor Brooking.
Trevor Brooking, he's down here as well.
Glenn Hoddle.
What a good player.
Peter
Glenn
Beardsley as well.
We're talking about Glenn Hoddle that
Peter
played for
Beardsley,
Johnny
isn't it?
Haynes had 56
He won over 50
internationals,
caps.
you know.
Peter Beardsley.
I mean, so many people. Yeah, Peter Beardsley, 52 caps.
But the two we've picked, you're talking about top class, with all due respect to everybody else. I mean,
We're not talking about good players. The word great is now easy to roll off, isn't it? when we're
So I
picking
understand what you're saying, the reservation being Shearer from your point of view, Alan, and maybe Hurst would have got the nod, but there we are, that's it one last time. It's Banks, Byrne, Moore, McFarlane, Wilson, Matthews, Bobby Charlton, Edwards, Finney, Jimmy Greaves and Alan Shearer, and I tell you what, you'd have paid a few bob to watch them play as well, wouldn't you?
Oh, fabulous.
Fantastic.
Wonderful.
Well, thank you all very much for contributing thus far. Alan Mullery, Alan Ball and Frank McLintock. We've had some fun, I think, and of course, we've got more to do yet. I wonder how many of that team would make it into an all-time British 11, and that's our next task. Goodbye for now.